Okay, how to use the unit circle. All right, notice here's the unit circle with all the points, and we talked about that in our last lesson. You know, x and y's, we're going to use all these, and here's what's going to be really helpful. All right, find the 6 trigonometric functions when t equals what? 5 pi over 4. Well, 5 pi over 4 corresponds to the point what? X, y. Notice right there, 5 pi over 4 is right there. That's the point. Look at the values. There's x and there's what? Y. So we know that x is negative square root of 2 over 2 and y is negative square root of 2 over 2 at that particular point. So let's find all 6 trig functions with that. Well, here's what we know. Remember, for the unit circle, the sine value is just y because it was y over 1. 1's not going to change things. The answer is just negative square root of 2 over 2. Cosine is just the x value, and it was also what? Negative square root of 2 over 2. To find tangent, I do y divided by x. Well, if I have the same thing divided by the same thing, they're going to cancel out, and a negative divided by a negative is just going to give me what? A positive 1. Then how do I find this one? Well, it's just going to be that one flipped. So you have 1 over y, which is this, and when you reciprocate this, you got to remember little Diana Ross, upside down, right? You end up with this negative 2 over square root of 2, but when you rationalize it, you'll just get the negative square root of 2 right there. Because you'll have that, move the 2 up, divided by 2, 2's cancel, negative square root of 2. What do you think is going to happen for secant? You're going to get the exact same numbers, look, right? So you get the same answer. Because first off, you're at 45 degrees just on the negative side for a reference part. And this one here is going to be the same. Cotangent is going to what? X over y, just these numbers here flipped, still is positive 1. That's how I use the unit circle. If I had 5 pi over 4, I would do that. Let's try another one of these. Here we have the unit circle, right? I'm talking about the angle 0. Where is the point at 0? 1, 0. So here we go. Find the 6 trig functions when t is 0. We know we're at the point, what? X is 1 and y is 0. So therefore, y will be 0. X is 1. Tangent will be y over x, or 0 over 1, or just 0. Cosecant will be 1 over y. So it's 1 over 0, so it's undefined, because you cannot divide by what? 0. Here, secant will be 1 over x, so I have 1 over 1, or the answer is just 1. And what do you think is going to happen to cotangent? When I have the 0 over 1 and I flip it, so my answer is going to be undefined. All right? Notice when you divide by 0, your answer is always going to be, in a sense, undefined. Now let's take the same thing and let's do it with pi. Where's pi at? Pi is right there, so my point will be what? Negative 1, 0. All right? So I'm going to go over here. X is negative 1. Y is 0. So y is 0. X is what? Negative 1. Tangent's going to still be what? 0 over negative 1, which is 0. Cosecant is now going to flip this, so guess what's going to happen to it? It's going to be undefined. And guess what's going to happen to this one? I flip the 1 over the negative 1. It's going to make it negative 1. And what is going to happen to cotangent? If I flip this, I'm going to have a 0 in the denominator, making it what? Undefined. All right? Let's try one more of these and find the angles. What about when t is negative pi over 3? Well, first off, if pi over 3 would go up to here, right there, there's pi over 3. Guess where negative pi over 3 is going to be? Straight down. If pi over 3 is there, negative pi over 3 will be right there. So I went up that far to get pi over 3. I got to go down that far to get negative 3. So my point is going to be what? 1/2 negative square root of 3. 1/2 negative square root of 3. X will be 1/2. Y will be negative square root of 3. So y is going to be negative square root of 3 for sine, because remember, sine is just y. Cosine is just x. So it's 1/2. So now a tangent is going to be what? Those divided. Guess what's going to happen to those 2's? They're going to cancel out. And I have that over 1 makes it just negative square root of 3. Now, cosecant is going to be this one flipped. So basically I'm going to take that and what? Turn it upside down. which when you rationalize that makes it what? Now you can't hardly see it, but that's negative 2 square roots of 3 with a square root of 3 right there. All right, I don't know if you can see that or not by the way the camera thing is. And secant, I'm going to flip over the 1/2, which is going to make it what? Just 2. And what do you think is going to happen to cotangent? A negative pi over 3. Well, the 2's are still going to cancel. I have that, and when you flip it, you get this negative square root of 3 over 3. Kind of hard to see those. I kind of ran out a little bit of room right there. But the way you find the trig value is just look at the point. Sine is y, cosine is x, tangent's y over x, and the others are just the reciprocals flipped.